Hey everyone, welcome to second Interactor tutorial. Once you properly set up Interactor for your new character, now it is time to create your own prefabs. Because in the example scenes, for example, we have a lot of targets, but these targets belongs to Protoman, prototype character. So the bone structure and the orientations may differ with your own character. So you most definitely need your own targets, and that is pretty easy. To create your targets, let's select our character and let's find our hands. I will get my left and right hand, and I will duplicate them in the bone hierarchy. So I will put them in empty space, and I will rename them as default. And then Interactor target. And then I will select my types accordingly, and this is left hand, this one is right hand, and I will set their transform reset, so they will go to origin point, position 0, and we are almost there. Let me just disable this one first, and let's start with the left hand. I usually create a temporary object, a really small object, like this one, and also set them on the 0 point, so I can see where I click. This spot represents the clicked point. So the hand should take a position according to this point. So if you put your target like this, it will spawn your hand in this position. Also, you can rotate your targets by making the sphere's child. If you want some horizontal targets, so you can rotate the sphere and then make it unparented again. But I will use that as it is. So I am satisfied with this one, and now I can create my prefab. And we are done. Let's do the right hand. Okay, let's make it something like that. It is also done. Now I want one more right hand prefab. Let's make this one unpack. And let's rotate this. I want this one to point a finger, and maybe something like this. And let's also rotate the bones. I don't want to spend too much time, so it is, I think that's enough. And also let's reposition it. A bit higher, and it is done. Okay, so let's call this one right hand point, and this one is also done. The important part over here, that your targets need to look towards word forward. So you can see the word forward from top. It will be shown on the upper right corner. Also, you can see it on your rotation when you select the global. Don't forget to select global, otherwise it will just show the local forward, which we don't care about. Okay, we created 3 targets. We don't need our sphere anymore. Let's go back to our target. player. And now we will open the spawner window, and it will ask us to create a new save file, so it can hold some settings and it can hold your prefab lists. Let's just create a new one, and then it will just pop up. This spawner window also works like a toggle for SceneView options, SceneView menus. Once you close them, they will also automatically close. If you want them always on, you can dock the spawner window anywhere behind any object, so you can always access your SceneView options. And when we open our spawner window, as you can see, it is just newly created and it is empty. Let me just assign my left hand and my right hand default targets. And then once you place your main prefab, then you can drag and drop as many as you want. So it will get the different ones only. Okay, then when you place your targets, then you can access your right-click menu, and you can spawn your targets anywhere and anytime. So the targets are right now sticking on the player trigger because the exclude player layer is not enabled. So let's just enable it. So the Protoman over here is in the player layer. So the also spawner window gets the same layer from the Interactor's layer option, and then now it can just ignore the player layer. Okay, now we can put our targets anywhere. Let's just make a quick test. I'm just gonna create a sphere with a 0.2 scale and then duplicate it. And let me just put them a bit higher. And then let's create some interactions. So I will open my spawner mod in the SceneView window, and I will you can also access them over here. And I will select add pivots and add components. But it will say me, hey, you can't add components right now because you don't have any preset settings assigned. So we need to assign some presets. Let's use the previous one before creating a new one. And they are going to be in Prefabs and setting presets. So I will use my my button preset, and then we can enable the button preset, and also we can add new ones, maybe multiple, and then enable it, and then you can switch between those. Okay, I will add two targets over here, left hand default and right hand default. But these are just now spawning in default rotation, so if I also put them over here, they will always look forward. So I don't want that, and I will get the surface rotation instead. So this way you can get the surface normals, and the targets will be spawned according to that rotation. And also you have two more options: camera to object direction. The camera to object direction is just getting the SceneView or current camera's rotation to spawn our targets, so as you can see. And if you don't need the other rotations X and Z, and if you need only Y, you can also get your desired results. Okay, I think you get the idea over here, so we can just skip it. Let me see if this got, okay, we undo it, and let me just re-add them on the object direction, left hand and right hand, and also this one, left hand and right hand. As you can see, with just 4 clicks, I just created two separate interactions with the ability to interact with both hands. So let's just test it. I will press play. Okay, sorry, I think my camera needs a player. Okay, they are now interactable. This is sphere and this is sphere 1. So it is trying to use left hand first, as you can see. If I press, I think my right hand is out of reach. Yeah. Okay. Okay, they are working just fine. Let me just put this a bit closer. Now, to create your own presets, so you can spawn your interactions easily, let me show that one as well. So I have a container over here, and it is just preset for the touch interaction. So let me just quickly show how it works. The player just tries to get a wall and then it touches with left hand. Right now it is working just for left hand because it only has one target. So if you have, if you're satisfied with interaction you made, you can get it and copy it, the whole object, the object that has interactor object on it, and you don't need any children and you don't need any components except the interactor object. You can keep them, but you don't need them. So let's rename it as my new touch preset, and then make a prefab out of it, and it is done. Now this is your new touch preset. So let's just assign it a new one, my touch preset. Okay, let me quickly show how to use that. And let's create a new sphere, a big one this time. Let's put it somewhere around here. And so let's create a new interaction over here. I will add components. I will select my new touch preset. And I want to interact with my left hand and with my right hand also. Actually, let's make them surface rotation or camera rotation, left hand and right hand, and that is done. With just 2 clicks, you reused your old previous interaction the same way. As you can see, this time I am interacting with this object with my right hand and also with the left hand. So it is quite useful and fast workflow. And also if you need a lot of targets and maybe a lot of other presets in the list, and the point of saving data, one of the upsides of it, you can just switch them. And I can close this one and create a new one. Let's call this one 2. And it will just get the same settings. And I can change the targets or the presets. So maybe you want lots of touch targets just for touches. And then you can create a new list for just touch. And then for the grabbing operations, you can create another list for grabbing that includes only grabbing targets or grabbing presets. So you can just come over here. Right now we have 2 and we have only again 2 presets, and if I switch back to previous one, and it will get my previous targets, and I can switch between those save data. So it is quite useful for that purpose. And let me just talk about the interaction speeds. So duration is the total interaction time. So interactions have 2 states. First one is going in when the bone tries to go to target, and the second one when the ending interaction, when the bone goes back to its default state from the target. So it is going in and going out. So the duration includes both. And over here, the first half of the duration will be 1 second, and the second half we have a multiplier for making it faster. So it will be just 0.35 seconds instead of 1. So it will take 1 and 0.35 for ending it. So if I put over here 10 and here 0.2, it will be 5 seconds to go and then 1 second to end. Also, we can change our easing functions over here. These are commonly used easing functions. Let's change linear. And then we have lots of things to test. Cube in. And also you have a custom curve if you are not satisfied with those. And on the custom curve, you can give any curve you want. And it will just use that one. So right now, the both going in and going out use the same curve. But if you want a different curve for each one of them, you can use the half. And on the half, the first half will be going in and the second half will be going out. And let me just show it. And let's make it 5. And this is 1. And then I will make this broken instead of free smooth, so I can easily change it. And this one will be time 5, 1 and 0. Okay, I can add a new curve. Let's also change this. So this is like the going out is something like this, but the going in is something like that. So going in will be used the left side, and going in will be used the second half, right side. So they are totally different right now. So it is just an optimized version instead of using 2 different curves. And this was the speed curve. And if you are wondering how these are works, I get a great cheat sheet on the documentation, on the Interactor components, on Interactor objects. Over here, a great cheat sheet. So this is a Unity demonstration, a really good one, and it will show all the easing functions, how they operate for rotation and positions. So it is a really good resource. And that will be all for this tutorial video. I hope I managed to explain things good, and thank you for watching.